Hello friends, welcome to ABCD of Accounting. I am CA Medhavi Kurunwadkar. Today we are going to discuss two provisions of the Income Tax Act, Section 206C1H and 194Q. Let us first start by looking at the intent of both these sections. Section 206C1H is basically a tax collected at source on sale of goods introduced by Finance Act 2020. The intention here was to widen and deepen the tax net. 194Q, which is the latest addition introduced via Finance Act 2021, is tax deducted at source. The intent was to further cover transactions which could have been left out of the ambit of 206C1H. About the section 206C1H, here every person being a seller and is having a sale consideration for goods exceeding rupees 50 lakh other than goods being exported out of India, at the time of receipt of such amount, collect from buyer a sum equal to 0.1% of the sale consideration exceeding 50 lakh rupees as income tax. Here the seller turnover has to be more than rupees 10 crores in the preceding financial year. If in case PAN number or Aadhaar number of the buyer is not available, TCS of 1% on the sale consideration would be applicable. If in this case the buyer is liable to deduct TDS under any other provisions of the Act, then this section will not apply. In case of Section 194Q, any person being a buyer who is responsible for paying any sum to any resident for purchase of any goods where the value exceeds 50 lakh rupees at the time of credit or payment, whichever earlier, is responsible to deduct an amount equal to 0.1% of the sum exceeding 50 lakh rupees as income tax. In this case, if PAN number or Aadhaar number is not provided of the seller, then TDS of 5% has to be deducted on the purchase value. Let us look at comparison of two sections. With effect from 110/2020, 206C1H was introduced. 194Q would be with effect from 1st of July 2021. 206C relates to TCS while 194Q relates to TDS. Responsibility in case of TCS is placed on the seller to collect the tax. In case of 194Q, it is the responsibility of buyer to deduct one. Applicability, as mentioned earlier, seller turnover is the decisive factor in case of TCS. It has to be more than 10 crores in the preceding financial year. In case of 194Q, the buyer turnover is supposed to be more than 10 crores in the preceding financial year. Timing herein is, in case of TCS, it is at the time of receipt. In case of TDS, it is payment or credit, whichever earlier. Rates in both these cases would be 0.1% on the amount exceeding 50 lakh rupees. However, if PAN of buyer or seller are not available, then 1% would be the TCS to be collected and 5% is the TDS to be deducted. Amount taxed in 206C1H is the sale consideration received. In case of 194Q, it is the purchase value. Exception is that if TDS or TCS provisions of other than these under any other section are applicable, then that particular section will prevail over these two sections. However, if both these sections are simultaneously applicable, then 194Q, which is the TDS section, would prevail over the TCS one. Return and certificate to be issued are same as other TDS and TCS provisions. Let us look at the practical situations vis-a-vis applicability. The first case is where the seller turnover is less than 10 crores and the buyer turnover is more than 10 crores. Here 194Q will be applicable. In second scenario, seller turnover is more than 10 crores while the buyer turnover is less than 10 crores. Here provisions of TCS would be applicable. In case of third scenario though, where seller turnover and buyer turnover both are more than 10 crores in the preceding financial year, here 194Q will be applicable. Although in this case, PAN of the seller is not available, as such the rate applicable would be 5% and not 0.1%. In fourth scenario, again 206C1H, that is TCS provisions would be applicable, but because PAN of the buyer is not available, the rate would be 1%. In case of fifth and sixth scenario, in both these cases, there's no tax liability to be deducted or collected in this case. In case of fifth scenario, because there is no single buyer or single seller transaction where the sale consideration or the purchase value is exceeding rupees 50 lakh. In sixth scenario, although there is a transaction exceeding 50 lakh rupees, the turnover of both seller and buyer are less than 10 crores. Let us look at a practical situation wherein we understand how it is to be calculated. There are these three scenarios. In the first scenario, TCS provisions would be applicable. In the second and the third scenario, TDS provisions would be applicable. However, the amount on which tax is to be deducted or collected is to be decided on the basis of which section is applicable. In case of TCS provisions, sale consideration paid during the year is the decisive factor, and that is the reason why amount collected and deducted is calculated on 1 crore in first scenario. So 1 crore minus 50 lakh rupees, that gives you the tax collected. In second and third scenario, though, the sale of goods or purchase of goods in this case would be the decisive factor. What would happen in case there is a sales return or purchase return or debit note or a credit note in this case? For 206C1H, there is a CBDT wide circular number 17 dated 29th of September 2020, wherein it is stated that no adjustment on account of sales return or debit note is required to be done because tax is collected on the basis of sale consideration. In case of 194Q, though, before or at the time of deduction, if we are aware of a purchase or a sales return, that can be considered, and after the deduction, it would not be considered. And any adjustment on the basis of this would not affect the TDS to be deducted. Now the GST component. The same circular also states that no adjustment on account of indirect taxes would be required in this context. However, in case of TDS, we will have to consider GST on services if it is indicated separately in the invoice or whether it is including the purchase value. Let us look at some key considerations while considering whether these concepts whether they would be considered as goods or no. In case of capital goods, both these sections would be applicable because whether revenue or capital, goods would be taxed in both these cases. In case of immovable property, there is a TDS section of 194IA. That is why both these sections would not apply. In case of securities, again, there is a CBDT circular which states that securities traded on recognized stock exchange would not be under the ambit of these two sections. Software again are considered as canned goods, and that is why both these sections would not be applicable. In case of branch transfers, both these sections would not be applicable as buyers and sellers need to be two separate entities. Mutual fund units, it would be same as securities traded on recognized stock exchange. It's the same circular that has stated that these two sections would not apply. In case of e-commerce participant, again, these two sections would not apply because there is a TDS section of 194O which would be applicable. For out-of-pocket expenses, 206C1H, that is TCS, out-of-pocket expenses would be included because the sale consideration would include them naturally. In case of 194Q, it could be applicable or it could be not applicable basis whether the purchase value includes the out-of-pocket expenses or no. In order to conclude, I would say that there would be a lot of aspects wherein there would be an ambiguity or a confusion as to calculation or there would be cases where certain concepts are not clarified enough, and owing to this one can expect clarifications from CBDT in near future. Thank you. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel ABCD of Accounting. In order to get notified, please click on the bell icon. Thank you.